Hi everyone, it is Deanda. Today I'm going to show you some really fun and easy DIY projects that you can make if you have a Cricut, or if you've been thinking about getting one, you're like, I don't know, should I get it or should I not? Once you finally do have one, these are things that you're going to be able to make. Shout out to Cricut for sponsoring this video. Thank you so much. So the machine that I have is right here. It is a beautiful mint green Cricut Explore Air 2. And if you're anything like me, you might have heard of a Cricut, but you're not exactly sure like what it is or what it can do. So the first time I heard of a Cricut was from my colleagues at work. I teach second grade. Two of my colleagues have their own Cricuts and they use it to cut out their bulletin board letters. Like every month they would have the most on point bulletin boards with the most custom letters, and they do it with their Cricut. So in my ignorance, I thought that a Cricut was a machine that you use to make bulletin board letters. I thought it was like the 2020 amped up version of the old school die cut machine. If you've been teaching for a really long time like I have, then you know what I'm talking about. That machine in the teacher's room that has all the little wooden stencil like type things, and you pull it out and you put your paper on it and you put it on the machine and like you pull it down really hard and then it makes your shape. I thought that a Cricut was that, but just like, you know, an electronic version that you plug in. Little did I know that making letters was like one of just a ton of different things that you can do with a Cricut machine. So if you're wondering what it actually is, a Cricut is a cutting machine that you can use to make all sorts of custom DIY projects, and it has these really fine point blades that can cut super intricate shapes, and you can just really make all sorts of things with a Cricut. It is definitely not limited to bulletin board letters, and it can cut lots of different materials. So the machine that I have, the Explore Air 2, can actually cut over 100 different materials. Guys, it can cut things that you didn't even know exist. For example, it can cut brushed paper, which I didn't even know that's a thing. But here I have some brushed paper, and you can see it's kind of like a metallic, it's really thick paper, but it's kind of like this metallic. Can you hear that? It can cut vinyl that you use to stick on different things. These are some of the vinyl colors I have right here from Cricut. A Cricut can cut glitter paper. It can cut iron-on paper. It can cut cardstock. It can cut poster board. It can cut craft foam. Depending on which Cricut you have, it can cut leather. It can cut wood. Like, guys, the possibilities are really endless with a Cricut. And so I am extremely excited to have a Cricut of my own. I'm really excited because I know I'm going to be able to use it to do all sorts of things in my classroom. I am going to be able to now make the super cool bulletin board letters, which, speaking of those letters, guys, at the beginning of this past school year, I decided I wanted to make this really cool sign for my classroom that says love God, love people, in like really big cursive letters to hang on the wall. I do teach at a private Christian school, so that like would not be a problem at all. But I wanted it to be in black, so I bought black cardstock. I had to make each letter one by one on PowerPoint and then print the letters out and then cut them out. But apparently ink doesn't really show up on black cardstock, so I'm like struggling trying to cut out each letter. I couldn't really see where the lines were. Y'all, it was a whole situation, and I am just so grateful that that is not going to be my story anymore. That is no longer the narrative of my life. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Cricut, for this brand new machine, because it just takes all the hard work out. It does it for you, and the time it took me to make those letters on PowerPoint and cutting them out by hand, like totally reduced when you're using a Cricut machine. So I'm going to be able to use it in my classroom for like the bulletin board letters, to label supplies and just all sorts of different things. And then to make student gifts, which that's one of my projects that I'm going to be showing you today. And then I've already started using it around the house to make labels for some different things in my bathroom. And then I wanted to also make pantry labels, and I want to make some wall decor and just all sorts of things, guys. I am really excited about this machine. And something that I didn't know that the Cricut can also do is you can put pens or you can put markers inside of the machine, and you can choose fonts on the Cricut Design Space, which is the design software that comes with the Cricut when you purchase one. There's probably so much more that the Cricut can do that I just don't even know about yet. So like I said, I'm just really excited to have a Cricut and to be able to work on all these different DIY projects and see all the things that it can do. So let me go ahead and show you the first project that I made. Okay, so here's my first project. It is something that I made for my son for us to work on over the summer so that he can keep up with his learning. And I used some vinyl to place onto this pouch that I got from the Dollar Tree. A sentence that says, "Ian can count." My son's name is Ian, and so each time that we do this activity, I'll have him point to each word and read "Ian can count." So that's a little bit of reading practice thrown in there. So I made these numbers in Design Space. I made numbers from 1 through 20, and my son can count all the way to 20 with no problem. He can identify numbers 1 through 10 with no problem, but identifying 10 through 20 has been a struggle for him. At first I was going to actually use the numbers that were cut out, but then I said, you know what, I think it'll be cool if I just laminate the cardstock from the numbers that got punched out and make these as kind of like index cards. So I have all the numbers, and what I'll do, we'll have this laying flat and I'll just place a number on here, and he'll have to say the number, and then he will have to take these cards and count them out one by one until he gets to the number that we're working on, and that will help him with his one-to-one correspondence. So also in Design Center, I just went to images and typed in a search for cars, and I found some simple cars that were not too intricate, and I just cut the cars out, which you can see here. I used poster board, and I took the actual outline of the cars because I thought it looked cooler that way. I took the outline of the cars and just laminated them. And so these are the cars that he will use to practice his counting. I have tried using actual toys before with him, but then he gets into like play mode and it's hard for me to reel him back in. His teachers tell me that he is like the superstar student at school, but like when he's trying to work with mama, it's just, it is a struggle, y'all. If you are a teacher and you have a hard time teaching your own children, drop me a comment down below. Let me know that I'm not the only one. So he loves vehicles, he loves cars, and I thought these were really, really cute. I just used some green, what do you call it? Some green cardstock that I had left over in my classroom. And that is the first project. It was really simple to make. I enjoyed it. And we are gonna get started with our counting practice this week. So the next project that I made was gifts for my students. And I made them these bookmarks that say Smarty. I call my students second grade Smarties every year when I'm just talking to the class and I'm addressing everyone. A lot of times I just call them Smarties. I've seen quite a few teachers make these personalized bookmarks where they put each student's name in here. I don't know who my students are going to be yet, and so I just made two different designs. One that's kind of like a floral pink and white and green, and then one that has a much darker pattern on it. I used this deluxe paper from Cricut to do that. And again, I just went into Design Center. I chose some fonts from Cricut. Cricut has tons of fonts if you have a subscription to their Cricut Access. And those are the fonts that I use. So all the bookmarks say Smarty, but some of them are just in different fonts. So here are 3 different fonts, and they all say the same thing. And so when we have Meet the Teacher this year, if we even have it in person, look, I don't know what's going on with the upcoming school year. Nobody really knows yet. And so if we do have Meet the Teacher, which we have always had in years past, and this is the gift that I'm going to give to each of my students at Meet the Teacher. And I'll just let each student choose the one that they want. We're going to be doing a lot of reading this year. We have a new reading curriculum, and so I think bookmarks are a gift that are going to come in nice and handy. So those are the 2 things that I made. I wanted to make something for my son, I wanted to make something for my students, and I also wanted to make something for myself. So I did make some nail decals. I did my nails earlier today, and you can see here I made this. I made a feather decal, and I made lots of different bird decals. So this is a bird decal that I made using my Cricut and vinyl, and here on my middle finger is a feather right here. And then this finger, I have 2 of the little bird decals, and on my pointer finger, another feather decal. So I really enjoy doing my own nails, and now I can make my own decals with my Cricut. So those are just a few fun and easy things that you can do if you have a Cricut machine. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know which project you liked the best. Was it the nail decals, the bookmarks, or my son's counting packet? And if you do have a Cricut already, drop me a comment down below and let me know what are some of the things that you like to make with your machine. It still is like brand new. I've only had it for about a week now, and so I am still learning. I would love to hear from you guys. Thanks a bunch for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one.